That feels all right.
Making it nice and clean, Dr. Dave. Now, why are you choosing to insert the transmitter on the lower part of the snake's body?
We've got a set of ribs all the way down here. So we're going to go down, sort of try and get under the ribs, but also we have to get between them as well. But it's a lot less traumatic for the snake if we're approaching it from this angle. And we also prefer to do it slightly on this side, because if you look at the way the scales run, if I have to do it here, for instance, I'm going to be cutting these scales in half, and obviously then you get delayed healing. And it's also the part of the body that's in direct contact with soil and earth, which is germs and bugs.
The incision is made on the side of the snake to limit dirt getting into the wound. And we also don't want to cut through the snake's belly scales unnecessarily.
Now it's time for the surgery, and it's a fairly non-invasive surgery. Dr. Dave's about to make the first incision.
Okay.
Looks good.
Cutting scales.
Trying to get between the scale.
Uh-huh. There's no blood.
Yeah, with snakes, there's very few blood vessels in this coscutaneous muscle and underneath the dorsal layer of scales. And so it's not a bloody procedure at all, which is obviously very good for the animal.
Sure.
There we go. We're just going to...
Let's have a quick look at this before it goes into that abdomen. This is the transmitter. You can see it's actually quite sizable, and that's the aerial. That's going to keep us in contact with the animal.
The transmitter will provide Jonathan with data on the snake's movement and habits, which will be considered when formulating a conservation management plan.
What I'm noticing here that's going to be absolutely vital is that this snake is going to go back into the bush, and it's going to be slithering around branches and bits of tree stump. And of course, you want the side of its body to remain exactly as Mother Nature intended. We don't want this transmitter to create bulges and bumps and things like that, and to inhibit his future life.
Correct. So he's just having a little bit of a muscle reaction here. He's totally unconscious.
Right.
Right, and that's another important thing with this procedure is just to make sure that we do it as sterile and as quickly and cleanly as possible. But like you said, the incision itself is very small, so that'll be stitched up, actually heals over very quickly. We'll wait about a week to 10 days before we actually release the animal back into the bush. And track several animals for well over a year, and it would appear that they doesn't bother them too much.
There we go. And the first suture or stitch is in. Okay. Well done. That was really fast. That was literally, that surgery took like a minute and a half.
One wants to try and get in and out quickly, because obviously the quicker you are and the less invasive it is, the less chance you've got for infection, etc., etc.
Okay. And I know that some of you watching might feel a little bit traumatized now seeing a snake going through a procedure like this, but it's very important for us to learn more about them so that we can protect them. And remember, the lives of snakes are incredibly secretive. We know little about these animals. So there is method in this madness.
The transmitter doesn't cause the snake pain, and the flesh heals around it fast, with no long-term damage.
All of the creatures in our animal kingdom have always got something that I find incredibly interesting. And with the Gaboon Viper, it's the fact that they are viviparous. Now, viviparous means that you can give birth to many live young. They can give birth to between 15 and 30 neonates, which is a small baby snake. Now, think about this. If each one is about 25 centimeters in length, and she gives birth to 15 of them, that's 4 meters of snake that she's got to find room for in this body.
Michelle, the females, the young are housed towards the posterior end of the body. Inside the snake, you would be amazed at how small the actual neonates are, and around, they're not spread out end to end or anything like that, but actually tightly coiled into little balls, so to speak.
The reproductive cycle is thought to be every 3 years, with gestation being about a year. This slow cycle results in low numbers. Research is vital to help keep the population of this important snake viable. Stay watching and let's see how Gaboon vipers impact on the local community.
Last chance to see. She's searching for the truth.
Welcome back. It's a venomous affair today on Wild Ltd. We're travelling down the road to Kula village to talk to the local people about their experiences of snakes and how they feel about them. Our first stop is with local resident Pretty Bube.
Pretty siyamukela ku-Wild Ltd we-SABC2. Ugogo wakho wakhe wakuchilani ngezinyoka.
Ogogo ke basitshela ukuthi ezinye inyoka mezingena ekhaya mhlambe ziyidlozi. Sometimes inyoka ekuhlaza yakwazi ukuthi uyazi ukuthi lenyoka le yasekhaya ethi ugogo singayishaya sithatha ilotha siyithele ngayo bese iyayihambela nje singayibulali. Ezinye ke siyazibulala ngoba ziyingozi.
Interesting. So let's see what Jabulani thinks.
Jabulani, usabukunjani inyoka?
Inyoka ngisatshisa ukuthi ezinye zeinyoka zino poison. So ezinye ziyashaya, ezinye zikhwimfelana ngamathe. So uma ikhwimfele ekuqala uyakwazi ukuthi uyafa. Uma ikushayela ekuqala uyafa futhi.
A healthy respect for snakes is vital to prevent being bitten.
We've established that the Gaboon Viper is docile, but it is a deadly snake. So what happens when you get bitten? Where do you come if you live in the local community? Well, you come to the Sangoma. Miriam, ziziphi izinkinga zezinyoka eninazo emphakathini?
Iy'nkinga zenyoka aziziningi kakhulu. Kuphela ukuthi inyoka uma ihlangabezane nawe iyisitha ngokuthi ikulume eqakaleni. Uma isikulumile eqakaleni kufanele uthole isibiba sokuthi udle sona ukuze singakhuphuki lesi sibiba sayo lobubutha bayo obokubulala.
Miriam told us that getting medical assistance for a snake bite is critical. Kufanele kwenziwe ngukushesha. The quicker you get to a doctor once you've been bitten, namatuba, aku, ogusinda ayanda, the greater you'll, especially if you've been bitten by a Gaboon viper. We discovered the locals have a vast knowledge of snakes because they live with them every day. Kubalulekile ukuthi sisabe futhi sihloniphe izinyoka. A healthy respect and a healthy fear is good. A week after the transmitter insertion, the snake is healed and ready for release. Thanks to researchers like Jonathan, the future of Gaboon vipers is being actively secured. Digital technology provided by Sony South Africa. Production vehicles supplied by Mitsubishi.